About 3 weeks ago, one of our listeners suggested we discuss dyslexia on couch conversations. So, after a little bit of research, we've come your way on this episode to let you know a little bit more or to share our views about dyslexia with you guys. Please stay with us.
Hello, good afternoon, people.
Good day, internet people.
Welcome to another beautiful episode of
Couch Conversations.
Beautiful. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm doing okay.
How is the weather treating you?
The weather is treating me nice. So there's no rain, so I'm enjoying myself.
You are evil. You're an evil person.
I'm not evil.
One of all these people that used to hold rain.
We have likes and dislikes now. So I don't like rain.
How will you be disliking wonderful things like rain?
It's not like I dislike it like dislike, but then I'm not a fan of rain. I'm not a fan of cold weather. I just like it warm and.
That's serious. Talking about rain itself. When you were a child, did you used to feel like, okay, maybe when rain is falling, someone was pouring water from heaven? Or was I the only one with that notion?
Me here, it's not just ordinary someone. When I was younger, I thought that when it is raining, that means God just finished eating and is washing his hands. Maybe God just finished eating like amala or pounded yam and is washing his hands. So that is what rain. That is what I thought causes rain or caused rain then.
Imagine.
What?
But thank God for both. Now the notion is no longer the same.
Everybody thinks it's like that. What about thunder?
What? No, I did not have any notion about thunder.
So for me, no, not thunder. Okay, thunder, yes. When thunder strikes, it means God is talking to somebody. God is warning somebody about something.
A loud warning. Stop it!
Yes, that is thunder. What about lightning?
They were taking pictures.
Yes, lightning. That means God is taking our pictures. So that when we go to heaven, He will be showing you. See, can you see yourself?
When rain was for, and why is it only raining? Raining days used to take pictures.
No, now.
Or the photographers gonna strike when the sun is shining.
No, now.
But then
just leave me, or just leave people like me and our thoughts alone. Leave us with our thoughts. Thank you.
And please, if you have thoughts like that too, if there were any things you used to believe when you were younger about rain and lightning and thunder, you can please share with us.
So before we go deep into the episode, we'd just like to remind you that our names have not changed. I still remain your favorite homegirl, and
I still remain the humble and handsome and eccentric Akinola Patrick. Thank you very much.
Somebody's hyping himself.
Someone is just jealous. Someone is jealous. You know, you can all this freshness.
My people. So today we'll be discussing dyslexia, and the interesting thing is that I did not get to hear about the word dyslexia until about 4 or 5 years ago. Let me say 5 years ago. That was when I heard that there is something called dyslexia, and I did not get to read on it. I just I heard from somewhere and I saw it in a movie. I did not carry out a little bit of research. Let me use Google and check what does this thing mean. I did not do that. I just dyslexia is when you cannot read and write. Okay, fine. I sank it in like that, and there was a time I thought I was dyslexic. Don't worry. Wait, don't worry. When we enter the show proper, I'll tell you the story.
Imagine. Actually, there was a time I used to think I was dyslexic.
Copy.
What was copy?
Why is copy
because
now?
You said it first time. Because I didn't say it first.
Okay,
jealousy.
We have heard you. So, Akiola, please, what is dyslexia?
Okay, so according to research,
that we carried out,
dyslexia is the term used when people have trouble learning to read, even though they are smart and motivated to learn. It's a language processing disorder, so it can affect all forms of language, whether spoken or written.
Okay.
So dyslexia is not just maybe you cannot read. Some people are dyslexic. It's a tongue twister anyway. Yes. Or it's just my tongue.
Dyslexic.
Let's
not digress.
Some people are dyslexic. Okay, help me.
Wait, some people are dyslexic.
Some people are dyslexic with their words, like they are oral spoken words,
and it's
while
not even
others can't read properly.
And it's not even when you cannot read English language that you are
dyslexic.
dyslexic. If you cannot read Chinese, wait.
Okay, I think I have Chinese dyslexia.
No. If you are a Chinese, yes, okay, Chinese, and then you've been taught to read and write, maybe you've been taught the alphabet and the words, and you still cannot read, then that person or such a person is dyslexic.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier about not learning about dyslexia until like 5 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I learned about dyslexia, if I'm not wrong, maybe when I was 15 or so, some years ago. And yeah, you're right. In this part of the world, a lot of people do not have the knowledge because we do not talk about it a lot. A lot of people, when you see a child that does not know how to read in school, it's flogging and punishment. Like, we don't used to want to understand the root causes of anything. In this part of the world, we don't take cognizance of mental health or deterrents that can block a child.
Especially when it comes to education, when it comes to reading and writing. Any child that is not doing well at school, we usually say that child is you understand?
Well, there might be some underlying causes. There might be some underlying things that. And another thing, I think there was this movie that you were talking about earlier, like Stars on Earth, like.
Yes, that's the movie I watched.
I'm very sure I did not
Stars
finish that movie. But
like Stars on Earth. So
I was talking about the dyslexic people. From that movie, something else that we can learn about dyslexic people that was also in the definition we said earlier, they can be very creative. They can be really, really creative. You'll be surprised about some creative people that are actually dyslexic that we'll be talking about later on.
Don't worry, we'll bust your bubbles by the time we start mentioning their names for you. You'll be like, so this person is dyslexic. Don't worry. Just hang in there. Stay with us.
Alright, so to go further into the show, we'll be talking about some facts about dyslexia. So, would you like to take this?
So we've got 5 facts for you. And fact number 1, dyslexia can be mild, moderate, or severe. So that means, how will I put it? We have white, like pure white. Then we have white,
off-white,
like off-white. And then we have white that
was white.
That was once white. So let's just categorize it like that. So sometimes dyslexia in some people can be very, very mild. You might not notice on time. And some people, it might just be moderate. You're like, it might be dyslexia, it might not be. And some people, it is very, very obvious that this person is dyslexic. Okay. So that is fact number 1. And number 2, dyslexia is very common. Like, it is very common. Researchers say that out of every 10 pupils in a class, there is one dyslexic there is one dyslexic person. And some researchers also say that out of every 5 in a class, there is one dyslexic person too. So dyslexia is very, very common. Like, let's not always label that when somebody is not doing well when it comes to reading and writing, then that person is lazy or that person is stubborn. It might actually be dyslexia. You might be seeing it and not know that it is dyslexia. So you could just try to read up, get the better understanding, the better knowledge on dyslexia. Okay. And fact number 3.
I hope you are taking notes because I'm jotting things down now.
Happy jotting.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So fact number 3. People with dyslexia are often more creative. Dyslexia is not related to low intelligence. Yes, the fact that this person cannot read properly and write properly does not mean that he or she cannot draw, cannot create things, cannot invent things. No, you cannot relate dyslexia with intelligence, like with IQ. They are not on the same level. They are 2 different things. So
on that note, if you are still listening to this point, on that note, we would like to tell you that if you wait till the end, you'll be surprised about one of the most brilliant minds that I've ever lived that was actually dyslexic.
Yeah. So children and adults with dyslexia are often highly creative. They are very, very, when you look at their inventions, You're looking at me like, you're dyslexic. Everybody, Aki is dyslexic.
Please don't. No, I don't know. Maybe
you're
mildly.
not sure.
Maybe mildly. Because
Mildly.
if I, you know how when you're talking about symptoms of things, you just suddenly start noticing those kind of symptoms in your body. Because there are sometimes that when I'm reading some words, like consciously and unconsciously, I don't know if it happens to everybody, but my mind skips over a lot of words. I might be reading something and pronounce something else.
So that makes you dyslexic.
Maybe mild.
Maybe mild.
But I'm very creative. Yes, I'm a very creative man. So
not the best. So fact number 4, dyslexia is highly hereditary. So it can be passed on from parents to their offsprings. So some parents they'll be saying, when I was in school, I usually carry first. Yes, that is the word. It's when I used to carry first. You're coming up with 10th position. Go to my classmates, ask them about me. Hey, have you checked yourself, daddy and mommy?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? So, I think there was a time the conversation was around about how parents used to say they used to carry first and first. Like, you know, wait, which parents used to carry second?
Last. Wait.
Who used to, no, even last is also, who used to carry second in your class?
Well, all of them are always carrying first. But then, see, you need to know that dyslexia is hereditary. So, what if one of the parents is dyslexic, then the child has a 50% chance of being dyslexic. And if it is the two parents that are dyslexic, then the child has 100% chance of being dyslexic. But then, being dyslexic is not the end of the world, because I said it earlier that they are often highly creative. So, we have the last fact here, which is fact number 5. Dyslexia is usually self-diagnosable. So you could know on your own that, okay, looks like I'm dyslexic, or it's like this child is dyslexic, or this person is dyslexic. You don't need to go to a lab and now start talking to the lab attendant and they'll start taking samples. No, you don't need samples. You could self-discover. You could self-diagnose it. That okay, just like Akin said now. He said he does not know how to read well.
I know how to read. I just sometimes
you skip some words.
Yeah.
So you think you are dyslexic. You might be dyslexic.
I might not be. It might be laziness.
I'm coming to that. You know, some people often mistake laziness to
dyslexia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Some people mistake laziness for dyslexia. Like me now. You know, I said it earlier. I have a story to tell.
Okay.
But just follow us. Let's just continue with the show. So, being lazy does not mean you are dyslexic. So, very quickly, I would like to.
So, in case you've been telling yourself that excuse since you started this thing, that maybe
I'm dyslexic.
You are not. Chances are that you are not. Check it. Wrong.
So, very quickly, I would like to run through the facts again. Number 1, okay, so at first, I told you that dyslexia can be in stages. We have the mild, the moderate, and the severe. And secondly, I said dyslexia is very, very common. Then, thirdly, I said people with dyslexia are often more creative.
Yeah.
4.
Like me. But I've not self-diagnosed fully yet, so I'm not even trying to self-diagnose actually.
You don't know what is wrong with
you. Please, but
you don't know at all.
I don't like that too. Okay, what do you mean?
Okay, it's all right. And number 4, I also mentioned that dyslexia is highly hereditary.
Yeah.
And finally, I told you that dyslexia is usually self-diagnosable. You don't need to go to a laboratory to test if you are dyslexic or not.
Okay.
I'm talking to Aki.
Thank you very much.
So, moving on quickly. Aki, tell us your story. Okay, you already told us that sometimes you skip words.
Yeah,
and that makes you think you are dyslexic.
Yeah. So wait, before we even go into your story itself, one would ask the question: how do you deal with dyslexic? Like maybe you have someone dyslexic in the house, or maybe you have a child that is dyslexic or something. How do you deal with that?
Okay, when I was going through the books,
Yeah.
number one, you have to be extra patient with them. Like very, very patient with them. Then they go through therapy.
Okay.
Yes, and it's just you take it one step at a time.
Okay.
And they can learn where their colleagues are too. They can learn they can learn with people that are not dyslexic. Do you understand? They can cope. You just need to be extra. They need that extra.
Okay, if I'm going to diagnose myself now for dyslexia, I think I do not learn as much as I do when I read than when I listen. I learn more when I listen than when I read. When I pay attention when I'm listening.
Just say you don't like carrying books.
I don't like it.
Hey. So don't hide under the umbrella of dyslexia.
Wait. Why are you punching holes inside my excuses? What's the problem?
Okay, fine.
Do we have fights?
Fine, you're dyslexic. Fine.
I'm not. I'm just trying
you don't even know
I'm trying to play camp.
I said it earlier. I said Aki does not know what is wrong with him.
Please, I don't like it.
It's alright.
I don't like it. That's
it's alright. So very quickly, I want to tell my story. I said there was a time I thought I was dyslexic.
Okay.
Don't mind me. So it was my final year in school. Imagine.
You were not dyslexic in primary school.
I was not dyslexic in primary school.
I
was not dyslexic in secondary school. I was not dyslexic during my OND. I was not dyslexic my first year HND.
It's now final
year. I thought
it was project.
I was dyslexic. Let me tell my story, Aki. Okay. So I had issues with this course, financial management. I had issues like it was too, I don't know, the formulas were too much.
Okay.
So and there's this thing I do on my wall in school. I write the formula on the wall. So when I wake up, I see, okay, you are here, Abby.
Mama Cramo.
Okay, it's alright. So I tried cramming. And then this particular formula, portfolio, I was trying to cram it. It was not entering. I've been trying to. I was supposed to have the exam that day. Then I was still trying to cram and I was forgetting. And I'm like, that day, believe me, I was crying. And my roomie was like, babe, calm down now. You get this thing. And then in my mind, I mean, the devil was saying, okay, me, Abo what dyslexic. I'm only dyslexia. So that was when I was like, it's like I'm dyslexic.
Imagine on exam day.
On exam day, so I was seriously. We need to let bad energy far away from us, because I don't know where that mindset came from. And then I started carrying that. It's like I'm dyslexic. I need to work extra. I need to read extra. But then I remember that.
All
these days, okay, me.
You did not dyslexic.
You were not dyslexic now. Then it's laziness. Then I figured out that okay, laziness was worrying me. So instead of me to admit that I was lazy, I was not hiding under the umbrella of dyslexia.
Okay, so let me leave that umbrella now. I'm beginning to see.
I'm talking to acting.
Yeah, sometimes I used to read and I used to understand.
Yes, so don't hide under the umbrella of dyslexia. Plus, again, when I started reading on dyslexia, I found out that okay, there were a whole lot of things that I misunderstood. When I hear the word dyslexia, I say, those people, they don't have to read and write, they cannot do anything on their own. Whereas it's a lie. There are a whole lot of things that dyslexics can do on their own. Creative things, interesting things that they can do on their own. And you marvel, you'll be like, wow, so these people can actually do this much. So all they need is just this extra patience and extra push.
And you'll be surprised what they can do.
Yes. So because of that,
let's even now begin to name. Okay, so before we start mentioning people who are famous and dyslexic, I think we would like to sound a point of note that we are not trying to mock dyslexia. I was making a lot of jokes about it personally, but it's not to mock it. It's for us to be comfortable around the topic, for us to talk about it. It's sometimes it can be very serious to some people going through it, because some of them are not understood properly. They are not properly understood by other people, so they feel alienated sometimes. They feel like they are not part of a group. They feel like nobody understands me. We understand you. We just want to relate with you and if you are out there and you are dyslexic, I want to laugh with you. And the thing is, you have a lot of other talents. So I think another way to manage dyslexia is to not focus on only the things you cannot do.
Yes.
Try to focus on those things that you can. Like
especially what you are good at.
Exactly. If you are good at arts, music, other things, a lot of people cannot get it.
Yes, because I remember that movie. Even though that boy could not read and write, there was this particular thing that he was very, very good at, and he did not stop. That was drawing. Like he kept on with it. He was consistent with it. So don't focus on that little thing that you cannot do. It's kind of big, but make it little. Make it look small, and then that thing that you are good at, make it big. So
motivational speaker. Thank
you,
man.
Worry.
Thank you.
Calm down.
Thank
By
you.
the time I start.
Hey, okay. We celebrate
You
it.
give me standing ovation. So moving on to, we would like to list out to you world famous dyslexics. Like you'll be surprised.
You might be surprised or shocked to discover that.
Let me tell you this English. Afraid will catch you.
Hey.
Afraid will catch you that. So this person is dyslexic.
Afraid will
this person was dyslexic. Akin, carry on. Let me not talk.
Okay. So it will surprise you to know that. Have you ever heard of the name Pablo Picasso? Perhaps you're a fan of art, like all these arts that usually looks kind of abstract.
I'm here.
It looks weird, but it's abstract.
Wait, guys, let me tell you. In case you don't know, I'm a teacher, cultural and creative arts teacher. Aki, clap for me now.
Another one.
Aki is a bad belly.
What do you? I did not clap.
So, Pablo Picasso is an artist. Was an artist when he was alive. Aki, tell us about Pablo Picasso now.
Okay, so Pablo Picasso was an artist, like she has mentioned. He was an abstract artist. I think I read up something about him one time, or maybe I watched a documentary about him. He was born in the golden age of art. So this was, I think, maybe in the 1950s or earlier. I've forgotten exactly when.
Let's not say what we don't know.
I've forgotten exactly when, but he was born. I think he was a French artist, either French or Spanish. Pablo. Okay, Pablo was a Spanish artist. Yes, was a Spanish artist, and then he used to paint. And his paintings did not usually look like the kind of paintings people liked. Well, people were used to back then. So this made him very special. Yes,
his ability was to paint unusual abstract art.
Yeah, things that were not so. So yeah, and another person, I'm very sure this one might shock you, was Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was actually also dyslexic.
If you all those physics students, they be shouting, they be shouting up and down. You see, the great physicist was dyslexic.
Was actually dyslexic.
Imagine, and you will be carrying physics on your head. No, it's not. I did not say you should not carry physics on your head though. But then anybody that does not know book, that cannot read and write, they will be shy. I remember my classmates then. We commercial students, we are not human beings. It's only science. See them now. Even the great physicist, imagine, he was dyslexic.
Yeah,
and the world did not come to an end. Let us calm down
and
for
he actually even helped the world move forward. And if you are a lover of art, so another one that would surprise you would be Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci. What's the problem?
Call the name with respect. Call it very well.
Leonardo da Vinci. Are you? Does that satisfy you?
For your head.
Okay, so Leonardo da Vinci was also an artist, and he was also an inventor. He invented a lot of I think one of his drawings was what was modeled was the airplane was modeled after.
Yes.
So he drew the famous painting Mona Lisa. He drew a lot of although he was an avid procrastinator, but
let me tell you about that Mona Lisa. You see, anytime I see that painting, I used to feel like, wow, so this woman sat down and then Leonardo da Vinci was actually painting her. So it is my dream that one day I will sit down elegantly and somebody will just paint
but
me.
There's photography, there's camera.
I don't want camera. I want painting. Camera. I want that person to draw me. The stress and the passion that person has put into it will make you
Pay me, let me draw you.
You.
I can draw. Have you seen my art? Do you know how good I am?
I laugh.
I don't like it.
I laugh in Tokyo.
I don't like it. I'm actually kind of a sketch artist, although I have a long way to go. But I'm actually quite good.
Aki is copy because I mentioned that I'm an art teacher.
No, you
because
will
I
pay.
mentioned I'm an art teacher now.
I want you to pay for the art.
You want us to
pay me so that it's taking like 50 years to finish drawing it.
50 years. This Akiola is wicked. You know what? Don't worry. Thank you. I'll look for a professional artist that will draw me
I don't
well.
like it.
I'll look for a pro that will draw me well and nice.
All right. So another one is Maggie Ebonla Derin Pocock. Okay, I think she was born in the United Kingdom, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and she's Nigerian by origin, but British by birth.
Now she's British. She's no longer in Nigeria.
And she's a she's an astronomer and a space scientist.
Yes.
A co-producer of the long-running TV show The Sky at Night with Chris Lynott. You can check that online. She is also a research fellow in the UCL Department of Science and Technology Studies and an honorary research associate in UCL Department of Physics. When you even finish reading her profile like this,
okay, let me just There is this funny thing about her. She said the story. She shared the story.
Okay.
She said, I don't know. You know, like we in Nigeria, when they ask you what do you want to become and stuff like that. So I can't really remember the story, but the school, I think the school counselor or something asked her that okay, what does she want to do? What is her passion? Then she said she wants to be an astronaut. Then the counselor laughed and said she would be better as a nurse. Aki, why you laugh? Why?
That was rude.
But then look at her today. She proved them wrong.
She proved them wrong. She was like, "Mother, show me." She proved that. She said every night she would look up the sky and see the stars, and she'd be like, she wants to go there. And look at her today. She's there. I envy her. No, I respect her. Okay.
I respect her courage. And you know, all the names that we have been mentioning now is like they are old people. Let me not give you one that will bust your bubbles, especially we ladies.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know that Tom Cruise is dyslexic? So, do you know that Tom Cruise is dyslexic? Now you know.
Okay.
And I can give us one more now, like somebody we can relate with.
Oh yeah, another person that you might not probably think of at once is Walt Disney, the creator of the Disney world we now know and love today.
So for animation lovers like me and I'm sure you love his movies. Any movie from Disney.
Or their cartoons.
They are always...
They have become a media giants today now. So one of the biggest media companies in the world. So yeah, if in case you are dyslexic out there or you know someone that is dyslexic, you can support them.
Being dyslexic is not the end of the world.
Yeah, it does not make you handicapped.
Because even when coming to this world, God has loaded you already.
Pastor, preach.
No, wait. I
Preach.
So as you are coming, God has loaded you with gifts and intellects that you should come to this world and use for the benefit of yourself and other people. So don't let dyslexia limit you. Don't let it limit your achievements. Don't let it limit what you can do. There is more to you. There is more to everybody. So don't let any situation that you are in hold you back. That's what I have to say before I run out of English.
All right. So thank you very much if you've listened to this point. We really appreciate you. Thank you for spending time with us today. And that will now bring our show to a close.
So thank you for listening to episode 12 of Couch Conversations.
And we hope you loved it.
If you love what we do, if you like what we do, if you're in love with us, if you're in love with this community, please share, like, subscribe, and tell your friends and enemies about us because we count on you to grow this community.
Yes, let us grow together. So let us do well to share, and we can also follow us on our social media platforms on Instagram at Not So Imperfect and on Twitter at Not So Imperfect 1.
Do have a beautiful week and eat plenty salami.
Yes, happy Salah in advance. My very, 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 people, I love you, my Muslim friends. Please, I'm expecting salami to. If you want my address, tell me. Ask me in the comment section. I'll send my address. I want to eat meat this salad. Thank you very much.
Now that you even mentioned it, we look forward to seeing your comments, guys. We really look forward to your comments. We look forward to reading your comments. So thank you for listening to us today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a lovely week.